I think it's really important to acknowledge that there is an abundance of research that speaks to the importance of school climate. And although it sounds like a soft topic, it's really not, because we know from a lot of this research that's been done over decades now and has been well confirmed that school climate, meaning whether students feel welcome, feel safe, feel trusting, feel like they come in the door and people are in their corner, whether they feel connected to students and connected to other teachers. Those are kind of some of those key components of school climate. We know that impacts students' academics, it impacts GPA, it impacts mental wellness, it's protective against risk factors, it impacts bullying by reducing potential for bullying. Like school climate, all those different factors that I mentioned are hugely important.
The basic straightforward answer is, yeah, your students need to be proficient in these standards. But what I know as a trained educator is that if my students don't have some of their basic needs met, then they aren't really in a place where they could be effectively learning and reaching these standards. So what that looks like sometimes is it could be, some things like if a student is overly hungry and not getting food, that, they're not gonna be able to concentrate on memorizing these facts. If a student is not feeling connected and doesn't trust that I care about them, then they're not likely to, feel comfortable letting me even coach them through something and teach them through something difficult.
We know that when students walk into an environment where they feel seen, welcome, connected, the brain releases what I call the happy chemicals, right? Dopamine, serotonin, the ones that prime the brain for learning. So this is related to mental wellness, but it's also related to learning for our students. And the contrast is the one we're all more familiar with, which is your fight or flight kind of scenario. When the school climate is not good, when students don't have those features in place when they walk in the door, they have the opposite response, and the brain shuts down from readiness to learn. I mean, I can tell you what I think about the school climate, but I'm not the student. And because we have different roles and different experiences, presuming to know what the students' experiences are puts us in a really precarious position of not addressing what they really need. And this is about them at the end of the day. So gathering survey data, perception data from the students is the most direct way to get their feedback on how is our school climate. How connected do you feel to your teachers? Do you feel like there are teachers in your corner who you could go to if you were struggling academically or emotionally? How connected do you feel to peers? Do you have friends at school? Do you have kids to sit with at lunch? Are you involved in activities? These are all factors that we know are protective factors for our kids. And if we ask them how they're feeling about it, then we know from real data where we might need to be doing something different.
I would definitely allow my children to participate in the survey because I can think of a couple of reasons. And the first is, even though I am home and I am comfort and I would like to think that my kiddos will tell me everything, I can tell you specific to mine. I definitely have a kiddo who's more likely like, it's fine, it's good. And so if he's not asked really direct questions, he's probably not going to tell somebody that. And I'm not sure I can know what I don't know.
We want every one of our kids to feel connected in, to feel like they have teachers who they can trust, who are in their corner, that they have students they can go to, peers they can go to when they have a need. So, if the numbers look like that, what we know is that overall we're meeting most kids where they're at and where they need us. So that's a strength, and we should pat ourselves on the back because we need to acknowledge the good things we're doing as teachers. But then beyond that, I'm really impressed by that quick math. So you said about 350 students. So across 9 buildings, we're talking about 50 students a building is a rough estimate. Within the building then, that's a workable number of students for counselors, for school psychologists to come together around and say, what are we going to do for these particular students? Who are teachers who they are connected with? How do we get them more connected in? How do we provide them opportunities to share their needs and what they need and feel connected? So we absolutely can address that and need to be addressing that so that every one of our kids can thrive in this school environment and has the opportunity to be successful. And it's a matter of then taking it down to the building level and looking at who are the resources and supports who can help these particular students who are still struggling, even in the context of a fairly solid school climate. But without the data, we don't know that's happening, and we're not doing anything different to help these students. So with a pretty easy to administer, fairly low cost survey, we can gather a lot of really important information about whether we're setting up an environment in which our students are thriving.